Music is the answer. Sweet music is the way. Gospel, jazz, R&B touches you every day. Talk about how it moves you differently day to day. It's the R B Bistro. Where the music have its way.
Hello and welcome to the R B Bistro Up Close and Personal. I'm your host, Venus, here to take you through this musical dance we call life. And to do that, I bring on people in the community to help us make it through. I'm so excited today because the men are in the house and they're talking, and we're kicking off the 7th year anniversary of the R B Bistro. So let me tell you who these distinguished men are. Got to put on my glasses, don't want to miss a thing. So first up, we got Mr. Curtis Rembert. He's a fellow voice actor, a real estate agent, a travel consultant. He's recently married about a year or so. Maybe we'll get him to tell us that. And then we have Peter Breyer, like the ice cream, a fellow author, CBD Hemp Farmer, we're going to have to talk about that, and the former deputy director of Urban Health Institute. Married for 55 years. Put all mine together, we don't make 55. Anyway, keep it moving. Mr. Corey Fowler, the youngest of the panel, interested in hearing that. And he's single, ladies, he's single. And he says he is a faith-filled, purple-wearing, he can tell you about that, real estate agent and former electrical engineer. So they are definitely in the house. So gentlemen, can we get up close and personal?
Yes, we can.
All right. So I want to relax y'all because I know talking about love and relationships, it's kind of hard for you guys. Y'all don't ever want to talk, right? So I'm going to relax you by giving you some questions to answer, okay? So let's start with this. Curtis, I want you to chime in first.
Yes.
How long does it take for you to know when you're in love with someone?
Ooh, awesome question. I don't really know if I have an answer for that. With me and my wife, we've known each other for 30 years, and all of a sudden, it hit like a ton of bricks.
Okay, so it took you 30 years to figure out.
No.
Okay.
It took me 30 years.
I
mean, I just think a lot of times, at least for men, when I was young, I always mistaked lust for love.
Yeah.
And really didn't understand
Yeah.
the difference and was never really told or was taught the
Yeah.
difference. So it took me 50 plus years to understand, okay, this is different.
This seems like it's different.
This is different. This is something I want.
That's good. That's
so it varies, I would say.
All right, Mr. Peter,
Well,
you married 55 years.
That's right. I think for me, I do believe in love at first sight. Because the first time I saw my wife, we were 22.
Nice.
And we were in the Peace Corps, and there was a group for a dance that first night. And I asked her to dance. Right away, out of all the women, I picked her out. There was never any question.
Now, I've heard a question, I've heard something like that, similar. A guy once told me, because I'm always talking love and relationship anytime I can, anywhere I am, wherever, right? And this one guy told me it took him 3 months to know that that was the lady he wanted to marry. So it varies. Corey?
For me, I think like he just said, there's a feeling. And in my past, I ran from it. And it took me time to realize that feeling was that affirmation that I should be pushing forward versus pulling back.
So we got to stop there. So why'd you run?
Why did I run? Communication. I didn't talk about it.
Which is a very important thing in all relationships, and I love communications. We may get on that. All right. How important is it to have things in common with your spouse? We're going to start with you, Peter.
I don't think it's that important.
What?
You can be opposites, can love each other in the things that they love to do. You don't have to love everything together. But there has to be an essential feeling there. And that feeling, I think
Curtis?
you said it, that it starts with lust. But from lust, it turns into something. Without lust, nothing can grow. But from that, something much more powerful
You heard
grows.
him, ladies. He said, without lust, nothing can grow. We're going to have a man and a woman at the same time.
I got a problem because my wife is sitting right here.
Corey, what about you?
I'm sorry, the question again was?
The question again is, how important is it to have something in common with your spouse?
I think, as long as it doesn't have to be everything. I have a morning routine. That's my time. I pour into me. And I don't really want you to get into working out because I get up at 4 a.m. and work out. But I do want to be able to share in things that you enjoy. And I think what happens, at least in the past over time, is some of your interests actually grow on me. and those are the ones that we partake in together, and the other ones that aren't my thing, I just not doing.
So you're not married? I like Corey's way. No. All right, I'm going to pull back from my questions for a while, and I'm going to ask you, who wants to go first? Who has a question about something in the book, Shades of Love, that still has people talking?
Okay, well, I had a question in general. I asked earlier, I asked why? Why now for you to write this book and share your love experiences or heartbreaks or close encounters? Why now?
Well, you know what? I'm not going to say that now was the best. You know what? Yes, now was the best time, because now was when things started happening like crazy. And I'm the kind of person where I'm a singer, and so you know, singers pour their heart out in their songs. You can always, Gladys Knight, you could always tell what was happening in a person's life. Mary J. Blige, you could always tell what was happening in their life by the songs that they sang.
Very true.
And I'm, you know, especially way back in the day. So I'm with that generation. So I would write songs. I wrote a poem, I take that back. The first poem in that book was written in 1977. I'm dating myself, but anyway, 1977. So that was actually the first poem I wrote, I believe. And so this time, there were all kinds of things happening, and the way to purge them from my system so I can move them out the way to concentrate on other things was to write it down. So I wrote things down, and they were coming like this. Sometimes I had 1 or 2 lines and nothing came till later. And I kept running them by people in my life. They probably got tired of me, but I was running by people in my life. What do you think? What do you think? Oh yeah, that's good. You should write a book.
So it's like a therapy for you as well.
It was, that's a good way to put it. It was kind of therapy, a way for me to purge. And I believe in communication. So I was actually communicating with me and God. Get this stuff out of me so I can move on. And I figured it could help other people, because a lot of people have gone through a lot of things, and there are lessons in there too. Peter.
Oh, it seems that you say you're not a poet, but there's very beautiful poetry in here.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But what I found, that 12 of the stories seem so sad to me.
Yes.
They really seem sad.
Yes.
And the 2 I liked the best were at the end, you know,
Quest Towards You was one of them.
Undoubtedly Love,
Yes.
and that's what love is.
Yes.
And my question is that something you experienced or you were hoping to experience?
Undoubtedly Love, and I'm going to say there is a little of everything I've experienced in all of the poems. A little bit of everything.
Okay.
I'll pull out one for you. I think it was one that you asked about. It talks about my bride-to-be.
Right.
What's the name of that one? That was an actual story. I'll tell you real quickly.
When I see
it happened when I see you. It happened exactly like that.
When I saw you. Yeah.
Yeah, it happened exactly like that. I was at an expo, dressed up like a bride, you know, because I was modeling for Bride magazine. Okay. And there was a gentleman across from me, and he's going to kill me telling his story. The gentleman across from me, and he sold books and things. And when I walked up, he said, "There's my bride." And I'm like, really? You know, really? You know. And so stuff started like that. Happened that we lived in the same complex. We had to go all the way to New York to meet.
Wow.
But it didn't work out because at that time I was kind of skeptical. You know, I was divorced, skeptical about whether somebody was true. And who's going to believe somebody that walks up to them and says, "I knew my bride would come"?
It's a smooth line, though.
It was a smooth line, but I was a hard person, and I was like, really, dude, stop. You know? So he got tired and walked away. But he walked away the most beautiful way possible. He sent me a dozen peach roses in a long black satin box. Wow. They were beautiful to my job.
Very nice.
Wow. Beautiful. And then he didn't talk to me no more for a couple of years.
But then you wrote it from his point of view.
I wrote it from his point of view. Exactly. Right. Exactly. Another question, another poem.
So I have one. The Second Chance. You know, the reason it caught me is it starts off, they say it should not be done, right? And everyone says that about the love, and when something's over, you know, especially being spiritual and in the church, right? It's always, well, God closed that door. But love is the hard one to really determine is, did I close the door? Like I said earlier, I would run from that good feeling sometimes. Right. And so it's what that second chance one got me there. So, you know, you said you're divorced at this point. Are you remarried, have been remarried? Like, where did the who are you giving the second chance to?
I am remarried.
Okay.
And not married. Complicated. We're not going to go on with that.
Got it.
But I believe that there is someone definitely out there for me. In the back of the book, it looks like I found it.
Okay.
But as you know, when you find people, then new things come about. And you have to learn people and learn to see whether you're going to get along with them, they're going to get along with you. Well, I'm of a certain age where it's kind of hard. I'm setting my ways. Whoever I date, they may be setting their ways too. Those ways have to gel. Yes. Communication has to be really good. Communication is the key to relationships for me. You know, and that's going to bring me to a question for you. So I'll say, when the Lord sends that next person, I'm sure I'm going to know.
Got it.
All right? So let me ask you another question, because I talked about communication. If there's no communication, it could bring about conflict. So what's the biggest conflict in a relationship that could ruin it, do you think, Curtis?
Ooh. Biggest conflict in the relationship with lack of communication. If you're married, I would probably say finances.
Big one.
Past relationships, although you're married and you're in another relationship, you still got your exes hanging on.
Big
You're
one,
still,
too.
You're still talking to them, and there's no need to.
Big one. Peter? Ooh, that we'll have to come back to that if we can.
I think it's a lack of respect.
Definitely. Definitely.
Especially for and a man. If a man feels that he's not respected, that's a real turnoff.
Big
And a
one,
woman
yes.
also.
Yeah.
A woman has to feel that you're listening to her and that you respect her
So
as
good,
a person.
Peter. Let me ask you something on the heels of that. There are a lot of strong women. I'll put myself in that category. There are a lot of strong women.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
How do you handle a strong woman? Does she need to dumb herself down for you, or can you handle her and still be feeling that you're respected? Yes, you as a man.
Yeah, initially I would feel threatened. I would,
initially, yeah.
Honestly. I think if the woman can somehow respect me, through her strength, then I could come to terms with it.
Awesome. Awesome. Corey.
So, can I get on that? Because
Yes,
being in the
I
dating
want to
world
jump on
now, being in the dating world,
The
now
men are
I'm taking
talking,
over
y'all.
now.
The men are talking. Go ahead.
From the single part, right? We're out here, we're on the apps and things like, because dating has changed,
Yes.
right? And on the apps, you see that strong, black, independent, this, that, and
That's
other.
right.
And the problem when we're saying as men is respect is you have to be able to hear me through, right? And a lot of times the strong woman is not slowing down enough to hear me. So the communication piece. Oh, I heard you, but no, you didn't, because before I finished and put a period on my line,
yes.
you've already told me you heard me, which means halfway through my sentence, you already formulated the answer.
That's a biggie. I know somebody that's going to like that statement.
Being raised by a strong woman and having strong women in my family and in my life growing up, I'm used to that. I desire that. I crave that. So my past relationships, when they may think they're strong, first of all, they couldn't compare to anybody in my family or my mother or anybody. So to have a woman in my life now who is as strong is the reason we're married today.
I hear that. Well, you know, when a woman is strong, that doesn't mean there isn't a softer side.
Most definitely.
And if she really loves you and she feels protected by you, and she feels that you are equal and you're one and you're listening to her and she's listening to you, she will step back and let you step forward when that's needed, or you will be side by side doing whatever it is you're doing, because there's a good communication and a mutual respect between the two.
Yes.
So strong doesn't mean, well, I'm in charge, this, that, and the other. If it does, that's a different kind of woman and she ain't for you.
Exactly.
Okay? Here's a good one. Is there a proper way to fight or argue?
Yes.
You going first since you blurted that out. Go ahead.
Let's see.
Well, it is. No, there's no need to do the low blows, right?
Right.
Because as you're growing to know each other, the point is to be able to be vulnerable, right? And men, we don't like to do it because it's, as boys growing up, we joke on each other. You told your boy something you didn't like about yourself or something, we use that. So when we come into a relationship, we don't want that there. Right? Even if you're joking with it, we don't want it there. I told you as a safe space. So if the minute you get mad with me, you're going, oh, Corey, that's why you ain't do this, that, and other. You said you was. Those things, that's not part of the fight. You're just trying to hurt me now. We're not getting anywhere.
Peter?
You have to be persistent, I think. Oftentimes when you're having a disagreement, a woman or man can be passive. They don't always say exactly, what the problem is. And then you keep badgering, you're trying to, so you have to pull back a little. Allow the person to breathe, the woman to breathe a little so she can articulate exactly what the problem is.
And that's why I say communication is important. You have to be able to hear each other. But what's most important in an argument is, first of all, never go to bed angry. Second of all, never use words like you said that can hurt. Because once something comes out, you can't take it back. Even if you say, I forgive you, or you forgive them inside, when you argue again, that stuff is going to come back up. If you sweep things under the rug and never talk about it, that stuff is going to come back up. So yes, there is a proper way to fight, in my opinion, and you never use harsh words. Don't say anything that you think is going to hurt and come back to you later. Both ways. She shouldn't say anything bad to you. You shouldn't say anything bad to her. You know, you have to be respectful. And then sometimes, a lot of times, in my opinion, you have to agree to disagree and do it nicely. You know, not, well, listen, we have to, you know, do it in a way that's respectful for each of you so you can come back. And sometimes you have to not talk about things until you're calm and heated and calm down. Because in the heat of the moment, you don't know what you're going to say. That will be kind of crazy. So you need to, how the Bible says, bridle your tongue until you're calm. Now, babe, let's talk about this now. You know, I don't think we should talk right now. You know, and they could buy a bad, we want to tell me, hey, give me a hug, kiss, whatever. Let's talk about this later. Languages, love languages. You guys know about those?
That was my next question.
There are 5 of them. Do you know all of them?
I know 2 maybe.
What are they?
I got.
That was you.
Yeah.
Words.
Well, my wife told me what love language was.
Words of affirmation.
There you go. Go ahead.
Right, there you go.
Quality time.
There you go.
Is it physical touch?
Yes.
And gifts of service.
Yes.
Or acts of service.
Yes.
And that 5th one gets me.
Did you say touch?
I did say
You
touch.
said touch?
Acts
Yeah.
of service.
Acts of kindness, physical touch, words of affirmation, gifts, and quality time.
That is quality time.
Your mate, do you think she needs all of them or one of them or a couple of them?
Physical touch, affirmation, quality time are her love languages. Mine is service. If my whole thing is I can make her happy, I'm good.
Peter?
Yeah, I think they're all important, but I can say being married to a black woman for 55 years, they are very forgiving.
Are they?
I think so.
I'm only playing.
But if you cross a certain line, they'll cut your,
you
know.
And you know, words can cut, and that's why
on
you
the
have
other
to be
hand,
careful with them. Yes.
if you, they will give, if you love and respect them, they'll give you everything. If we have a problem, if we had a disagreement, but somehow something happened, I needed help, I ask her, it's no question. She's there, and it's not like, I'm doing this for you, what are you going to do for me?
Yes,
they'll walk to the end of the earth for you and protect you.
Preach, Peter.
Because we were being robbed in Newark. We had a house in Newark. And we were being robbed at gunpoint.
Wow.
You know, cleaning the house. And my wife was hitting the guy with a broom.
All right.
All right.
She said, you
Way
leave.
to go.
She said, you know, I had to take my wallet. He said, you leave my husband alone. She kept hitting him with a broom.
Way to go.
So,
I got to tell you, Peter's wife is offset watching. So we thank her for being here. Corey.
So for me, I guess I have to do it from where mine is, right? I know mine is the words of affirmation. So, you know, rub me on my head, tell me I can take over the world, and I'm going out in the world for us. Now, the reason I know them is because that is date 2 or 3. We're going to have that discussion.
That's
because
good.
I know
like
how
that.
I need to know how to love you if we're going to move forward. And if I'm not capable of it now, I need to learn the skill if I feel like that's where we need to go.
Such a great conversation. I am so having a good time talking to you guys, giving the woman a perspective on how you think into the minds. I got some rapid fire questions for you, all right? So let's talk bank accounts. Joint, separate, or both? Real quick.
Both.
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 Why?
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 Quickly.
Independence. I feel we both need our own, along with our togetherness. It just works better that way.
All right.
Oh, but when you said both, I thought you meant a joint account for both.
I do. I mean, you have an account, she has an account, you have a joint account. What you think is better?
No, we have two bank accounts, but they're both joint.
Oh.
We share everything.
I like that, Corey.
I mean, we live in a capitalist society, so family business is the first one, and that's how I look at it, is the major corporation when we come together and the 2 LLCs feeding it, you know, and it's not always 50-50, and that's a big thing. I was on a podcast about that, the 50-50, but if I make 2 times as much as you, I shouldn't expect you to put the same in. But then
I'm going to stop you right there. Look at that camera and say that again. Just that sentence.
So if I make twice as much as you, I shouldn't expect you to put the same amount in. It's just not fair, right? It's business. We're a family business first. We live in that type of society.
All right, we're moving on. Vacations, together or alone?
Together.
Okay.
Together.
We just got back from Alaska.
Cold there. I'm not going.
It's not cold.
Go ahead.
Together.
Together.
Whenever,
Well, I'm single.
Go ahead.
I'm single. I don't know
Right.
about that.
Do you have a girlfriend now?
No, not
You're single,
currently.
ladies. So, can you go away with the boys? Peter, can you go away with the boys?
I guess, but that's not something
All right.
I do.
Can you go away with the boys?
Yes, I can, because my wife right now is in the Dominican Republic with her girls. So.
Okay, so it's okay
It's
to
fine.
do them.
I think
I
so.
like that. Yes, Corey?
Yeah, I think that definitely would be a model.
Okay, let's jump back to the book for a few minutes. We have some time.
Well, the one that hit me the most, A New Day.
Yeah.
The first line, let's talk about whether I should love you and if you should love me. That hit me because basically that was a conversation
Really?
that my wife and I had when before we were just friends, and it never crossed my mind to go down that route. She brought it up, and I was like, wait a minute now. You have everything I'm looking for. I have everything you're looking for. Why am I waiting?
I like it.
This is what I've always wanted and didn't realize until we had this discussion. What's
also good in talking to you guys about this book is hearing the male perspective, and also the fact that you enjoyed the poems.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
You know,
100%.
and that's really good. And to an author, that makes you feel really good. You know, and to someone who wrote the poems, it makes me feel good that people can find things in there that touch them. There's one that's really important that you guys didn't bring up called "Walk Away." That's a real good lesson that you did. You like that one? Pay attention to that one.
Yes.
It was very sad, though.
It's sad, but it's a lesson
Right.
because if you're not getting things that you should get out of a relationship,
Right.
you need to walk away.
Right.
Why would you stay there and spend years in something that's not good for you mentally, physically, spiritually? Why?
Right.
Walk away.
Comfort level for some people. Some people are just very comfortable.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing.
No, it's not.
If you're comfortable in something that's not right, you need to have the courage to walk away.
And I'm stubborn, so I've stayed. And it created even more hurt because it's like for a year and a half I wasn't there, but because I said I have to do this and move forward, I stayed.
Yeah.
So.
Another question.
Oh, I have one.
Go ahead.
So, I'm the Pillow Talk review. I was like, when I read that one, I've had this conversation before, so it was. I'm saying, wait a second, are you looking at my journal?
Oh, that's so cool.
But I really like the way that one, because that is, as a dating man, right? It's you wake up and you've had the enjoyment of the night before, and then you're not really sure that there's sometimes a guilt feel. Was this timing right? So I really related to the Pillow Talk review as one of my number ones.
Peter?
Yeah, the changes in you. That's
Ooh.
you know, as an older person, you know people when they're young, and everybody seems on an upward path, and then you meet years later and you say, this man looks so deteriorated. He looks like time just passed him by while you moved forward, and it seemed very.
And that's really actually what that was actually about. Definitely. You know, there was a person who was very, very strong and confident, knew what he wanted, but Corey, he stayed in a place too long.
Got it. And it beat him down.
And it changed him.
Seems like life just crushed him.
Yeah. Life crushed
with,
him.
Like so many people.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's a good example of don't stay somewhere where it's going to tear you down. Relationships, in my opinion, should lift each other up.
Yes.
Build each other. Grow with each other. You know, sometimes you take a back seat to her. Sometimes she takes a back seat to you.
Right.
You know, I have this joke out there where I don't cook.
I like to cook.
Not even for yourself?
I cook for me.
Oh, wait a second.
But if you come to my house and you look in my cabinet, there's so many different spices in there you wouldn't believe that I didn't cook. People that know me don't believe I'm telling it on national TV. People that don't believe me, people that know me know I can cook.
Got it.
And I love to cook for you.
Got it.
I cook real fast for me. I cook real fast for you too. But I love to cook. Even now, as I'm getting older, I love to shop in the supermarket too. I just saunter through the aisles picking out stuff to cook.
Okay.
So my enjoyments in life is cooking with my wife. We cook dinner together, preparing everything and making it together. Yes. I love that.
And you could have some fun, turn on some jazz and listen to it. And
awesome.
You could even dance in the middle while you're cooking, All right. Okay. We're moving right along. We're almost done. We're going to have to wrap it up. Let me ask you really quickly. What does romance look like to you, Corey?
Wow, you jumped on me on that one. So, romance is allowing me to take the lead.
Okay, quickly, Curtis.
Whatever she wants.
No.
He said no. Okay. Peter, what is it?
Mutual respect and perseverance.
She said no.
Be able to persevere through the ups and downs of life.
All right, give me a tip, Corey, on a successful relationship. One tip, real quick.
One tip is never stop dating.
Never stop dating. I love it, Curtis.
Put the effort in this work.
Put the effort in, Peter.
Yeah, like I said, steady, perseverance.
Steady and perseverance. Where can we find you, Corey? Tell them in that camera.
Well, my name is Corey Mr. REO Fowler. I'm a real estate agent and investor. You can find me at Corey Mr. REO on Instagram and TikTok, and also on Facebook.
And it'll be on the credits. Curtis.
You can find me at Curtis B. Rembert on Facebook. I'm VO Curtis on Instagram, and my website will be up soon. It will be vocurtis.com.
And Peter.
Yeah, my email at peterbreyer1.com. And I do have a website for my writing. It's, Peter Breyer Author. So.
Gentlemen, it's been wonderful having you here at the R B Bistro. Be sure to come back again and tell people about the book and the show.
Yes.
This has been the R B Bistro with Venus, up close and personal. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Check out the book. Check out the show. It's never too late to live your dreams, and when you do, I'll be there encouraging you. Take care. See you next time on the R B Bistro.
Music is the answer. Sweet music is the way. Gospel, jazz, R&B touches you every day. Talk about how it moves you differently day to day. It's the R B Bistro, where the music have its way.